Hello, basketball fans, and welcome to Boise. We got a Sunday matinee on tap as the visiting San Francisco Dons are in town at ExtraMile Arena to take on the Boise State Broncos. Here inside the gym, Leonard Berry with you alongside me, Boise State legend Brian King. And Brian, this is an interesting matchup. It's a Dons team that can really score the rock against a Boise State team that prides themselves on their defense.
Yeah, you're right, Leonard. Two very different philosophies. San Francisco wants to put up 25 threes a game, and they will get that done. They will run it, they will gun it, they will kick it to the perimeter, and they're going to launch a lot of shots. Boise State, on the other hand, wants to put their hard hat on. They want to go to work. They want to defend you. Offensively, they'll be very patient, maybe an extra pass or two. They're going to dump it down into Degenhardt in the post. Two very different philosophies today.
Very different philosophies, but one thing that'll be the same is the battle on the boards. Jonathan Mobo, the transfer from Missouri State. He was second in the Missouri Valley Conference last year in offensive rebounding, already grabbing 3.5 per game this year. Broncos are going to have to work hard to keep him off the offensive glass, and to do so, they're going to turn to their two transfers in Cam Martin and Omar Stanley.
Yeah, two great additions for Boise State. Two great transfers. They've had early success. Stanley's really a handful down low. And Cam Martin, surprisingly, will step out and hit some threes on you too. So that will be the battle of the bigs on a great Sunday afternoon for college basketball.
These two teams are going to be relentless here on a Sunday. It's a huge matchup for both of them that has some potential postseason implications. We'll bring it to you next on the Mountain West Network and KTVB, live from Boise. We welcome you back on the Mountain West Network and KTVB. We're at ExtraMile Arena. The Corral is rocking. The Boise State faithful are rocking. And the San Francisco Dons are in town for a huge non-conference matchup. Boise State out of the Mountain West. San Francisco out of the WCC. This is the 8th meeting all time. It's the first under head coach Leon Rice for Boise State. And Coach Rice has been here 14 seasons. They haven't met since 2008.
Well, Leonard, this is a great opening game for both teams. I mean, this is not a cupcake game, which you would usually see to start the season, right? These are two really good teams who have tournament aspirations. This is going to be a great Sunday afternoon in Boise, Idaho.
We are looking forward to it. There's Jonathan Mobo, who we talked about earlier. He's going to be a problem for Boise State here tonight. He's had a great start to the year. Across from him is Cam Martin. And for Boise State, the starters that you see there for the Broncos, it'll be Boise State in white, San Francisco in green, and we are set to get underway with Martin winning the tip for Boise State, and here we go. Should be a fun 40 minutes as Tyson Degenhardt, making his season debut with the mask on, gets his first touch, sets up a Rice three ball that won't go.
Well, two very different philosophies here this afternoon. San Francisco will really try to push it. They play very fast. They attempt a lot of threes, and Boise State will traditionally be a little more patient. It was kind of an awkward pass. Looked like it was an alley-oop, kind of a called play. It didn't work very well. Here comes Anderson.
Yeah, stolen away. Rice thought about that three, guarded by Marcus Williams, and that shot is blocked. That is Duedo Newberry. That puts San Francisco in transition, but they'll slow it down with the point guard, Mike Sharobjomps. Broncos did not shoot the three ball well at all against Vanguard as the Dons take their first off the hand of Newberry.
Boise State, a lot of newcomers this year, a lot of talent. It's going to be a battle for the minutes. There's Anderson with a missed layup.
Anderson, one of those newcomers, nearly 16 points per game at UC San Diego as Mobo loses the ball. Defensive struggle here in the first minute. Neither team has scored.
I don't know if the defense has anything to do with it yet. I think Galvin's just giving it back and forth to each other.
Cross-court pass. Abo rises for the corner three, and he's on the board.
Abo really capable of hitting that three, and if he gets warmed up, he will have a tremendous season for the Broncos.
Leading scorer on Tuesday for Boise State with 19 points. As Sharobjomps sees a foul called away from the ball, and he will just drop it to the floor. There is the 6'8" sophomore point guard. A lot of size for this this University of San Francisco team is we take a look at the replay. Happened away from the ball down with Mobo and Martin.
Well, they're trying to set the tempo early on Mobo because he is a handful down low.
There's the Englishman, Duedo Newberry, who set a pick, and Martin ran through it, committing the foul. Sharp jumps. He wants the three in the corner. Rolls around. Offensive board for the Dons as Hawthorne almost lost it, and he does. It's Degenhardt. He takes it away. To the rack he goes. And a ball lost out of bounds will stay with the Broncos.
Boy,
take a look.
Degenhardt thought there might have been a little contact here. Here we get the three before, all the way from Mongolia. That was as deep as Mongolia, actually. And the turnover. Degenhardt really thinks there's a little bit of touching in there.
Broncos off the inbound. They go to Abo, trying to get into the lane. Makes some space, falls away. And Martin fighting on the glass, can't get it. Abo aggressive on the drive on Tuesday against Vanguard. Marcus Williams swings a pass around.
San Francisco will penetrate and kick. They will find those three-point shooters.
There's a three-point shot. And it's another miss for the Dons. They've missed their first two threes. As Rice tries to explode to the hoop. Floats and scores.
Boy, Max Rice looked like he was going to dribble himself into trouble right then. It's just a little baby hook. He's kind of perfected that shot over the last couple of years.
Broncos coming out with a ferocious defensive intensity here. Assistant coach Mike Burns said they were a C+ on the defensive end against Vanguard. They've ratcheted up here in the first opening minutes. Mobo getting a high post touch to the hoop. Soft hands, won't go. Newberry fighting for it.
Here comes a three.
It's Hawthorne, and he's got it. Too much space for Isaiah Hawthorne, the redshirt junior from Tracy, California.
Well, they won't hesitate, Leonard. I mean, if they're even close to being open, it's going up. They're playing the statistics game. Lots of threes. You make 30% of them. Theory is you're going to win a lot of games. Martin for a deep three. The big fella.
How about that for the 7th year forward for Boise State? Cans the triple. Broncos up 5. This is Hawthorne. Switches with Newberry. More space. And it'll bounce around and go down.
Oh, Coach Burns is not going to be happy defensively with that possession. You just cannot give them wide open looks.
That's back-to-back open threes for the Dons, who are right back in it. Rice cuts, and Martin throws it away. No tip. So Boise State up by 2. Broncos stroking it from the outside early. We welcome you back to Extra Mile Arena. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you as Boise State is out to the early advantage. Head coach Leon Rice having the Broncos looking good here. 821. That's a winning percentage for Leon Rice at home. Pretty solid stuff in his 14th season.
Yeah, not bad. Coach Rice has done an excellent job since coming from Boise State. His entire staff right now really is about as good as you can get anywhere in the country. They are deep and experienced, and kids like him. They're good recruiters. He's done a fantastic job. And, Extra Mile Arena, it's not an easy place to play, Leonard. And this arena's been here 30-plus years, and it's still excellent for college basketball.
It's a great venue. Of course, hosted the first and second rounds of the 2018 NCAA tournament as Ryan Beasley loses the ball through his hands. Pass was a little too hot for him.
There's Sharjumps trying to set him up for another 3. San Francisco's already attempted 6, I believe, early. Looks like they'll get to their 25 attempts.
Boise State's already hit 2 of 3. They went 3 of 26 on Tuesday against Vanguard. Abo, low post action. He excels down here. And so smooth.
Oh, hard to stop. Hard to stop. How do you guard that?
6'7", 225, banging on the low block for Boise State. This is Newberry.
See, Omar Stanley's in for Boise State, the St. John's transfer, and he's a handful, Leonard. Holy smokes. He's going to give Boise State some good minutes. There you see him guarding the basketball.
A little short for the 5, but very physical as Kunin launches one that'll sail over. Josh Kunin's first touch goes long as Abo slows things up.
See if Boise State's a little more patient here. A couple extra passes maybe. Roddy says no.
Yeah, wiggles in, but leaves the shot off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Stefan Todorovic. He's averaging nearly 14 points a game off the bench in the first 2 contests for the Dons. Beasley shakes to the rim, fakes the pass, and Stanley rejects it, but a foul is called.
Boy, so important to have a guy like Stanley in the lane who can rotate over and contest shots. That was a 99% of a great play. Just got him a little bit afterwards.
Ryan Beasley at the line for the Dons to shoot 2.
So the true freshman Ryan Beasley at the line. Just a 5'11" guard out of San Ramon, California. He averaged 30.6 points per game, however, in the 21-22 season when he was named the Tri-Valley Player of the Year.
Well, clearly he knows how to make baskets, and it doesn't matter if it's high school or NAIA, Division I, NBA. When you know how to make baskets, you don't forget how to make baskets.
And he uses his ability to get to the line to pick up 2, makes them both. In a 2-point contest as Jace Whiting has come in to run the point for Boise State, and he gets fouled by Beasley.
Foul is on Ryan Beasley. First personal.
Well, Boise State will have the opportunity to go to the bench often and early. They're very deep, didn't have that luxury last year, but they do this year. And I think a lot of this is going to, these first 4 or 5 games might be just trying to find the fit of who should play and when should they play.
Look at Rice with the soft finger roll.
Boy, Max doesn't need to shoot threes.
He's really improved himself as an in-the-paint scorer, has Max Rice, with the floater, the finger roll. Beasley loses it. Broncos defense is all over the Dons.
Oh.
And traveling called against Tyson Degenhart, donning the mask. Injured his nose before the season opener. Missed the game as you see him start to walk there.
Tyson a little excited. He wants to get in the action. Wasn't able to play against Vanguard. Broken nose, has to play with a mask. Nobody really wants to do that. Then you see Andrew Meadows, the heralded freshman, checking into the game. He'll don the goggles all season long.
You got some Kurt Rambis comparisons for Andrew Meadow before the opener on Tuesday. You can see it a little bit, certainly with the rec specs and the long hair. This is Williams, a former Mountain West Freshman of the Year. When he played at Wyoming, he's into the paint. Finds Kunin. That's another shot short for the Dons. Deep 3, Williams connects.
Oh. Again, he's a kid who knows how to make baskets. Freshman of the Year, was at Wyoming in the Mountain West. He's been here before.
Knows a thing or two about playing Boise State, of course. Then transferred to Texas A&M before arriving on the hilltop in San Francisco. Whiting has to get the ball up. Stanley wants to get to the rim, and he uses that big frame.
Boy, pretty hard to guard, Stanley. If you're going to have to defend him 25 feet away from the basket, that's going to be a tough job.
One of the exciting things about Omar Stanley's ability to put the ball on the floor from the outside, create his own path. Another turnover, the 6th by San Francisco, is Whiting Euro steps and is stripped.
Yeah, be a little patient. Be a little patient. You got guys coming.
Todorovic, that's deep. Meadow going up for it. And he gets fouled. Great play by the freshman, using his body size to leverage some space.
Now we'll get another look at that. Good look here by Whiting. Meadows goes up with just a big, strong catch. This kid's going to have a really good career at Boise State, Leonard. He's just a really talented individual.
Comes in at 6'7", 218 as a true freshman. And getting some important minutes here. Early season, of course, started the game is R.J. Keene, who will check in for the Broncos as well. He's a redshirt sophomore for Boise State who, after dealing with injuries, got back on the court against Vanguard for the first time in nearly 3 years. And he gets that offensive rebound there and the putback.
Oh, boy, he answered the call right there. Off the bench, quick 2 for RJ.
Boise State are really excited about Keene's development. Williams to the baseline. And that is another San Francisco turnover, 7 here in the first 8 minutes. It's Boise State by 5 as we take another timeout on the Mountain West Network and KTVB. Early turnovers piling up for San Francisco, already 7 of them, and we've only played 8 minutes into this first half. Boise State's defense has been relentless so far.
Well, if they continue at that pace, this is going to be a long afternoon for San Francisco, and it looks like they're trying so hard to penetrate and kick for the 3. They might be forgetting that they got a nice little 12 or 14 footer on the way there. They shouldn't be afraid to just step up and hit that one.
We've had some open looks in the mid-range that have been passed up. Hit a couple of open threes already, have the Dons. They've taken 7. They're 3 of 7 from distance in this game so far.
Different look for the Broncos here. Rice and Whiting at the guard. Meadows, Staley, R.J. Keene.
There is Rice. He's in the lane. That floater won't go. Stanley thought he had it, but Mobo takes it away.
Good battle. Good battle.
I mean, those two, similar build, similar aggressiveness on the glass. Very fun to watch them fight against one another down low.
Yeah, good switch by Stanley back on Mojo, and another turnover by San Francisco.
Stanley steals it away. Rice trying to find an option. Broncos trying to get some motion into their offense. Stanley going up against Junji Wong, and a foul committed. It'll go against Wong, 6'9".
Yeah, we'll get another look again. Stanley's just going to take him down into the block and kind of work his magic with him. You talked about China. This is San Francisco, a very global team. I mean, you look at this roster, you've got Ukraine, you've got China, you've got Mongolia, you've got Australia. They're coming from all over the planet.
Tyson Degenhart checking back in for Boise State. 8 countries represented on that San Francisco roster, including Wong, who committed the foul. He's from Zhaohu, China. Goes by Barry here in the U.S. That's his American name. And Cam Martin will check back in for the Broncos after Stanley's trip at the free throw line.
Again, I think Coach Rice and his staff is really trying to find out which groups are going to work well together. Now you've got Anderson back in to run the point. R.J. Keene stays in. Degenhart back in with Meadows and Martin.
Kunin with the handoff. Williams has the matchup he wants, but gives it up.
Shot clock at 10.
Sharp jumps in the lane, puts it up, and that'll go. Crafty finish.
Really tough shot, too, Leonard. Tough shot to make.
Yeah, that is not as easy as it looked there from Mike Sharp-Jumps.
Boy, San Francisco just limits the turnovers from here on out. This will be a basketball game.
Degenhart going to work in the low post. This is where he makes his bread, but he's blocked. Meadows on the offensive glass. He's blocked. Great defensive possession there from the Dons as they try to turn it into some offense. Williams bounces to the basket and scores.
2 good possessions. Decided not to kick for threes, and they've just taken it to the basket.
Turn it into a 2-point game.
Broncos' game plan is to really get it into the paint and go to work on those guys.
Martin thought maybe he was fouled, but he didn't get the call. So Ryan Beasley runs it the other way. Transition triple.
Boy, really 4 newcomers on the court now for Boise State with Degenhart. Good back cut.
Anderson touches it in off the glass.
Really good pass by Martin from the high post.
And we've got a stoppage here on the floor. Timeout called by Boise State as they take their first of the game. And saw that back cut there by Roddy Anderson. One of the things that the coaching staff talked about from the Vanguard contest for Boise State was how well Cam Martin played as a passer of the basketball. He had a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, and you don't see that very often these days.
No, he's really skilled. You know, when he kind of walks out on the court and you look at him, you're not so sure how athletic he's going to be, and maybe he's just kind of a low post player, but he's not. He can step out and shoot the three. He's a great passer. He can put it on the floor. He's way more athletic than you think he is. He's a great addition to the Broncos, and as a number of these kids are. And I think it's a matter for Boise State of just kind of putting it together, finding who fits with who and where's the chemistry is the best. But they better figure it out quick because it gets pretty serious starting today.
It certainly does. And how often, if you're Boise State, can you say that you brought in a national champion? That's what Cam Martin is. 2021-22 season he spent at Kansas. He did redshirt the year, but the Jayhawks won the title as Williams misses another three ball and Martin gets the rebounds. Just being on that team certainly provides plenty of experience and what it means to make a deep postseason run.
Yeah, that's exactly right. See Degenhardt out too.
Quick catch
front.
and shoot.
That's a big shot.
Tyson Degenhardt has his first points of the season.
Big shot. And Tyson wasn't able to play in that first game. He really wants to get it going.
Boise State has hit as many threes today in his first half than they hit on Tuesday throughout the entire night. Newberry, it bounces off the rim. Don's just 3 of 10 from outside. Fits in with their 30% philosophy from three as Rice gets fouled on the floor.
Well, I don't think it matters how many they make or miss. They're going to keep shooting them, Leonard. I mean, they are just going to fire away.
Foul win against Malik Thomas there, the transfer from Southern Cal.
Yeah, not only is San Francisco's team very global, man, it is full of new players and new transfers from all over the country. Oh.
Legal screen called against Boise State. And that is one thing to mention as well for Boise State as we look at the illegal screen there against Anderson. Feet were still moving.
Yeah.
But both San Francisco and Boise State, teams in conferences that are very good on the basketball scene, well respected across the nation, doing it the same way through the portal. Boise State bringing in 3 big guns through the portal. San Francisco bringing in 5.
Yeah, and whether you like it or not, that's just the state of the game, right? I mean, it's going to continue to happen for a while.
Mobo chases it down, finds a teammate. And you look at Charo Jumps, who's a Dayton transfer. Mobo from Missouri State. Crowd didn't like that. Thought it should have been another Don's turnover. Now Williams on the ball from Texas A&M, formerly at Wyoming. He puts up the contested shot late. Shot clock heroics there for Marcus Williams.
Boy, Williams is tough. He's tough. Again, he knows how to make baskets.
San Francisco just one of their last 5 as Abo lost the ball down low. Waiting to see a signal from an official. It'll stay with Boise State. 7 minutes left to go in this first half. And Tyson Degenhardt on the score sheet for Boise State. Back at Extra Mile Arena, Boise State and San Francisco. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you. Marcus Williams, he's a hooper. Getting to the basket, shooting threes in the mid-range. Doesn't really matter for him. A 3-level scorer.
No, that's right. And if you're the home team here, if you're Boise State, you just don't want the ball in his hands because clearly he knows how to make baskets, and he's going to make a lot of them if you give him an opportunity.
Shooting 50%, 7 points so far for Williams, the junior from Dickinson, Texas. Talked about it, but he's a player that knows this gym. Played at Wyoming in that 2020-21 season where he was the Mountain West Freshman of the Year. And, of course, coming in the year after, the man who just caught that inbound pass, Tyson Degenhardt. who was the 21-22 Mountain West Freshman of the Year, and he's got the ball here.
Well, Boise State's strategy is to try to get Degenhart the ball on the block and just let him create. Just kind of shorthanded that. Got it back.
Just padding his stats.
Padding his stats.
Offensive rebound and the 2 for Tyson Degenhart as the Broncos go up 7.
A little sloppy so far for San Francisco, but that probably changes.
Thomas off the side of the rim. Degenhart trying to control the tempo. Boise State, they're a little bit biased, of course, but they think he's the best in this conference. How about that? Baseline drive for Degenhart.
Tyson Degenhart, like a little 5'10 guard going in there. Little up and under. He'll save that for his highlight film.
Put that one on Huddle as Williams, or make that Thomas, gets to the rack.
Boy, Degenhart, so important for this Boise State team to have the kind of season that they want to have. He's got to stay healthy, and he's got to shoot the 3 a little bit better than he did last year, but you won't find a bigger and better competitor than Degenhart.
Anderson tried to throw it up for Martin. Good read by the Dons, but then they just throw it away in transition. Rice takes it, pulls up, wants a 3 ball, doesn't get it.
Boy, again, not the cleanest of games so far, Leonard.
No, a lot of turnovers.
Yep.
Thomas
Yep.
goes up, but there he is, the charge guy, Tyson Degenhart.
Gosh, we may have to start calling him Batman. I don't know how long he's going to have to keep that mask, but he just makes plays all over the court. That's an easy one. Just step over, take the charge. Got the scary mask on anyway. He's not going to hurt you. Tyson took an elbow in practice about a week and a half ago. Missed the Vanguard game. So this is his first action of the season.
Doesn't look like he's missed a step between the end of last season for Boise State and now, even with the injury. Degenhart up to his usual tricks down near the restricted circle. Stanley forcing a pass to him.
That's 6 turnovers for the Broncos, 10 for the Dons.
Sharp jumps. Rising for the triple. No dice. Abo the rebound. Degenhart back to the basket. Interesting matchup against Mobo. He spins baseline and draws a foul.
That's exactly the game plan for Boise State this afternoon, is get it to Degenhart in the block and let him go to work. He's hard to guard down there.
And for Tyson Degenhart, first team All-Mountain West a year ago. He did not win the Mountain West Preseason Player of the Year award. That honor instead went to Isaiah Stevens out at Colorado State. But according to plenty of coaches and most of the media members, it was not a very easy decision between the 2 of them.
Interesting. Well, knowing Degenhart, I'm not sure he would care. In fact, I know he doesn't. He cares about his team. He cares about winning. He cares about winning.
Since Tyson has arrived, Boise State has gone to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, hoping to make it 3 straight for the first time in program history. And with all the new additions they have, that is definitely the expectation as Degenhart misses them both. The Dons, of course, a program trying to get back to the NCAA tournament in just their second season under head coach Chris Gerlufsen. They went to the 2022 tournament, lost to Murray State in the first round. Mobo drives in, and Degenhart, tough to handle that big body of Jonathan Mobo.
Yeah, Mobo's got to touch it more, I think, for San Francisco. I mean, he's a handful as well.
And talking to the Boise State coaching staff this week, every single coach on that staff mentioned how athletic Mobo is and what a matchup nightmare he is going to be as he tries to take a charge, but is called for a blocking foul. 5-point game here in Boise. Under 4 to go in the first half. Broncos and Dons in a tight affair. 26-21 at ExtraMile Arena as Boise State leads San Francisco. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you. And for Boise State on a 2-minute scoring drought, Probably want to get Tyson Degenhart a little bit more involved. First team All Mountain West selection a year ago. The junior forward in his first game of the season looking pretty good.
Well, he's the team leader. The ball needs to flow through Tyson Degenhart. He wants that responsibility. It's a great up and under there by Degenhart. After the three, after the post move, he just kind of does it all. It takes a charge occasionally once in a while, too. He did just miss 2 free throws in a row, though, which he's not going to be very happy about.
Yeah, did miss both the free throws as Max Rice gets set at the free throw line. And for Boise State, it's not often that your best player is also your best team camaraderie guy, the glue guy. But that's what Tyson Degenhart is for this team, the communication, the effort, the feel on the floor. It's all improved when he is out there. He's always the one orchestrating those team huddles. And as Rice makes both free throws, he's another one that is very important to this Boise State culture. Williams splits a triple team to get to the rim.
Wow, little 1-2-2 soft press there by Boise State, and Williams just took it all to the rim. Unfortunate for him, didn't finish it. Boy, Roddy Anderson is just, you see him right there, number 0. So talented, just needs to kind of slow it down, play within himself. Fortunate it wasn't a turnover.
He's quick with the ball in his hands. As Degenhart sets up, underneath, goes reverse again, second time today.
He's just got those Larry Bird pivots up and under one more time. And again, if you can't stop the penetration and you back off him, he'll just step out and hit the 3.
Remember back last year to the New Mexico game for Boise State on the road in Albuquerque. As we take a look back, Boise State, they ran a 3-point play for Tyson Degenhart. He was the tallest guy on the floor. To tie the game, Degenhart hit the 3 to send it to overtime. That's just the type of player he is. Boise State relies on him. Low post, outside, really doesn't matter.
No, the ultimate competitor as well.
There's a great competitive play there. Mike Sharumjomps getting to the basket, scoring through the contact for a chance at a 3-point play.
Get another look. He just says, I'm going to take it all the way. Not the biggest body, but really skilled. Again, from Mongolia. Then a transfer from Dayton, where he had a great season.
Atlantic 10 all-rookie team at Dayton last year, as he made 20 starts as a true freshman.
See Coach Rice going, very, very common look for Coach Rice right there. What's going on? What are we doing here?
As Coach Rice likes to call it, working the officials.
He just does it with a smile, too, right? He just does it with a smile.
So Sharumjomps at the line, as you mentioned, from Mongolia. Ulaanbaatar. Mongolia is the hometown for Sharumjomps, and he is the first Mongolian citizen to earn an athletic D1 scholarship. So Boise State turns it over right into the path of Thomas.
Yeah, a little soft full court press there by San Francisco, and it worked. 30-24. San Francisco's not played well, but they have kept it close.
Down by just 6. A chance to cut into that lead here is Williams. He's moving all around down low. Can't finish. It's taken away by Boise State off the missed shot. 2.5 to go, first half. Low block work for Stanley. And a shot is called off for a foul against Sharumjomps.
Get another look here. Good entry pass by Rice. But I'm not sure I'd do anything else right now except kick it in the post to Stanley and Degenhart and see what happens. They can't stop that. Then you can kick it out and take those jumpers.
And both of Degenhart and Stanley can really pass it out of that low block position. So for Boise State, could create some openings in the passing lanes as Stanley, first part of a 1-and-1. Broncos made 5 of their last 7, shooting 50%, 12 of 24 in this first half.
Good touch by the big fella. Boise State with a little soft pressure themselves. Burn some time off the shot clock. Maybe get a turnover.
Broncos 5 of 10 at the free throw line in this game so far.
But good job by Beasley to handle the pressure, get them reset.
Wanted to step into that 3 ball. It'll go to Sharam Jumps.
Shot clock at 5. 3.
Thomas, he's
2.
got to put this up. He heaves it, and it hits rim, which means Newberry can keep this possession alive. Dish off down low, and Malik Thomas.
Oh, good save by Max Rice. Here comes Abo.
Thomas just too small against those big trees. Rice wanted the catch and shoot. Goes floater. Don's in transition.
San Francisco 3 of 13 from the 3-point line.
And they miss another.
Make that 3 of 14.
Just about a minute left in the first half.
1 minute remaining in the half.
Well, Cam Martin has he's been getting a good long rest. Big fella.
Only played 10 minutes. Abo wants the corner triple. Good work from Stanley. Broncos will get another crack at it. Stanley on the back cut. That was a dangerous pass.
2 really lazy possessions by Boise State. Kind of lack of focus.
Number 5, R.J. Keene, and number 31, Cam Martin.
Broncos stepped out of bounds. And neither team has scored here in the last 2.5 minutes. Don's on a 2-minute, 34-second scoring drought. Boise State no field goals in the last 3.
Yeah, it's just got, like I said, the kind of lack of focus. Those last 2 or 3 possessions by Boise State, no crisp cuts, no aggressive passes, nobody, aggressive to the rim. I think we can see the Boise State team there. Everybody's kind of trying to figure out what's going on. Whose ball is it? Official is pointing towards San Francisco. I don't know if we can get a shot of Coach Rice there, but he's going to ask why.
Here's the look at it.
Look at it.
Stanley's walking on the baseline before he throws the pass. So it should be a turnover against the Broncos. And it is down as a turnover by Boise State, along with a San Francisco timeout. So 8th turnover against Boise State, 18 between the two. So we're averaging almost a turnover a minute here in the first half. And like you said, Brian, early season game for San Francisco. It's the first game on the road. Sometimes you got to get some of the bugs out.
Yeah, you just got to work the kinks out. And again, but like I mentioned earlier, it's about to get real very fast for these teams. I mean, Boise's up at Clemson next week, so it's going to get real very fast.
Boise State's going to spend 11 days on the East Coast between the Clemson trip and the ESPN Invitational in Orlando. So 2 time zone difference for the Broncos over the majority of the next 2 weeks against some really strong competition. 1 second difference between the game and the shot clock means that Williams can try to hold for this final shot.
See what they draw up here.
It's Wong with 3 seconds.
2.
Beasley,
Floater.
the floater. I don't know if he got that off before the shot clock. Broncos are screaming about it as the period ends.
They counted it good. Let's get another look. I don't know if the clock's in there. Oh, yeah, he got it off. He got it off.
So they're calling for halftime. We'll be back. So they did indeed call off the bucket for San Francisco. They said that it was not taken in time before the shot clock expired. So it is 32-24 here at the half. Boise State leads San Francisco. We got a special treat down here with us. Tanaka Beard, the newest inductee into the Boise State Hall of Fame, joins us. And Tanaka, such an honor, of course, to be immortalized in Boise State history. How does it feel?
Feels amazing, very surreal. I got talked about before. I expected it over some, eventually, but now that we're in the moment, now things are happening. Being back in the gym and being on the campus, it just feels unbelievably surreal. Just like, wow, this is this is what it is. I almost feel like I'm outside watching it from third person.
Well, really proud of you, T.
Man,
Really proud of you. Hey, give us a little bit on when you left Boise State, what did the next 10 years look like?
The next 10 was Italy. Getting my butt kicked for about for 40 minutes a night over there, learning how to play the international game. Finally realizing that some of the things that we learned here, you know, the physicality, the intensity, and things like that, things that are everyday things, became a big part of the whole process. So once we got used to it, it took probably a year and a half to really acclimate to being overseas. Once we got acclimated, things started to really take a tick upward. Had a great trajectory, great career. Really excited about some of the things we were able to do over there as well. And hopefully this was the kind of the precursor, being here, like I said, learning from guys like Brian, you know, David Lowry, Rich Blythe, those older guys that kind of elbowed us and taught us how to get it done the right way. But got over there and, like I said, had a great time, man, and got a chance to see lots of the world and learn different cultures. Fluent in Spanish, thank goodness. So that was a process. Trust me, it wasn't anything that just happened overnight, but it was fun.
And you spent 4 years here at Boise State. Then you spent 16 playing overseas. Right. Then you transitioned into coaching. What's that journey been like, and how much of your prior experiences have you taken and allowed you to become the coach that you are today?
Well, I mean, again, we take bits and pieces of information from every different learning experiences in our lives. And just the type of coach that I am now, I believe myself to be a player's coach, but I feel a whole lot more Bobby Dye coming out of me every now and then. Some of those stupid mistakes and stuff like that.
It doesn't leave you tonight.
It doesn't go.
It doesn't go away. It was beaten into us.
Man,
it was beaten
running
into
these
us.
stairs, running these stairs, man. I'm telling you. But again, I just feel like having the experience here, the community here that was behind us from day one, and getting a chance to really represent something that was so much bigger than ourselves, and giving all of us an opportunity to really become a part of this family, this Boise State family.
That's great. Great. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Family is huge. I got a bunch of kids.
Great.
Now I'm down to grandkids now, so I'm a grandfather.
No way.
I got a couple grandkids now, so now I actually really feel old. It wasn't the basketball stuff that made me feel old, it's the grandkids. So now they're here, and I'm excited about that process and learning and watching them learn and just explore the world and stuff. So it's really fun.
So if you're going to give them any advice, I already know what you get. The first thing you've told them is to do. Mm-hmm. To do what we say, not what we do. No, I was going with do what you're told to do, because that's what was beaten into us.
Oh, that was automatic. Do what you're told to do.
That's it. Don't think. Just do what you're told to do.
Well,
I'm telling you.
Absolute pleasure having you here with us, Tanaka. Very much well-deserved. Congratulations on the induction into the Boise State Hall of Fame. Boise State leads San Francisco at the break. We'll be back with more. Boise State leading San Francisco at the break. 32-24 is the score as the Broncos are up on the Dons. For San Francisco, three-point shooting is the philosophy. Made 3 of 14 from the outside did the Dons. It kept them in the game, but they're going to need a lot better in the second half if they want to win the game.
The game clearly going towards Boise State's direction, but 2 things that could change really quick. Less turnovers by the Dons, knock down some threes, right? And that's the philosophy. You can get back in it really quick.
You certainly can. 11 turnovers for the Dons, just 6 points off of those turnovers for Boise State. So the Broncos not necessarily capitalizing either. There are a lot of things that could certainly change in that second half, but San Francisco's three-point shooting is going to be the biggest key for them in half number 2. We've got more coming from ExtraMile Arena after this. Back with the halftime stats here at ExtraMile Arena. Leonard Berry, Brian King with you as Boise State leads San Francisco. You see the halftime stats there. Things started to slow down for both teams offensively. Scoring droughts happening for both the Dons and the Broncos at the end of the half.
Yeah, first game jitters, right? Not as smooth, not as crisp as you'd like it. San Fran didn't shoot it very well, 21% from the three-point line. That may change in the second half.
It certainly may. Boise State didn't score for the last 2:25. The Dons, with the shot wiped off, didn't score for the last 3 minutes. We've got the second half coming up when we come back. Broncos leading the Dons at the half here in Boise at ExtraMile Arena. It's Boise State playing their second home game of the season. San Francisco in their third game of the year, first on the road, and Marcus Williams, familiar in this gym. He was a Mountain West Freshman of the Year. As you look at the comparison between the two, both of them starting more than 20 games in their freshman campaigns for their respective teams. Williams did it at Wyoming, and he scored 14.8 points per game. Those 4.3 assists were fourth in the Mountain West. The scoring for Williams was actually eighth in the country among freshmen. He was a huge provider for the Cowboys in that season. Meanwhile, Degenhart named the Mountain West Player of the Year after, as you look at the non-conference schedule for Boise State, taking down Vanguard in their first game on Tuesday. A lot of road trips coming up for the Broncos. 4 neutral site games in a row for Boise State after they go play at Clemson next Sunday. Virginia Tech, the winner of VCU or Iowa State, or the loser, depending on what happens for Boise State against Va Tech. And then a to-be-decided game that could be any of these 4. Florida Atlantic, Butler, Penn State, Texas A&M. All of those are teams that you want to play if you want to make a statement win going into conference.
Yeah, Leonard, like we talked about earlier, it gets real, like right now. It gets real right now, maybe starting with this second half because, here we go. On the road, big road trip, quality teams, a lot of new players for Boise State, right? A lot of guys to kind of work into the system. But, hey, what a great challenge for Coach Rice and his staff.
And the Bronco coaching staff, they talked about it before the Vanguard game. The selection committee for the NCAA has made it very clear. If you play quality opponents and you play them tough, you are going to have a chance on Selection Sunday to be potentially an at-large bid regardless of what happens in your conference tournament. And that's the philosophy that Boise State has looked forward to. It's the same philosophy that San Francisco has looked to as well. They're making quite a big run. 8 of their next 12 opponents are inside the top 100 of the KenPom rankings.
Yeah, and of course, there's a lot of basketball between now and then, right? But if you do get there and you haven't played these quality teams, let's forget the selection committee. You've got to be used to playing really good physical basketball teams because you're getting no cupcakes if you get into the tournament, right? There's no softies. Everybody is good.
Absolutely, and you look at the way that the tournament has played out the last couple of years. You were having teams from small schools, small conferences, doesn't matter. Some of these teams are making themselves big names, and you're having a lot of upsets as we start the second half.
No, everybody can play when you get to that level.
There's no such thing as an easy game once March arrives, especially in those conference tournaments before the NCAA tournament. Rice falls for the pump fake, and that'll set up Isaiah Hawthorne for the easy 2.
Boy, good, simple possessions. 2 things for San Francisco in the second half. Take care of the basketball, knock down your jump shots.
6-point game as we get into it here in this second half. Abo, he's got a really good post game. We saw it earlier. A couple of fakes, creates some contact, and he kicks the ball out of bounds.
Boy, created a lot of contact. Typically these early season games, you get most of the calls. They kind of let it go later, but a lot of arm there. I'm not an official, but I am a fan.
Isaiah Hawthorne in on the defense. Here's Mobo. Hasn't really made his mark on this game, just 2 points to go along with 5 rebounds. Sharp jumps, throws it up for the alley-oop.
Ooh, you jinxed Boise State right there, Leonard. Well, that's what the Bronco coaching staff was afraid of, and he just did not get many touches the first half. See Cam Martin out front, didn't get a ton of minutes in the first half, but again, they're so deep.
Rice, swing 3 will drop.
When Max Rice gets his feet set and his shoulders square, he doesn't miss many. There's one of those turnovers.
Degenhart, another catch and shoot, back to back.
Again, feet set, shoulders square. It's just a little layup for him.
He's got to be one of the best catch and shoot 3-point threats on the West Coast.
Again, if he's set, you just don't want him to shoot it because high probability it's going in.
Great find for Newberry, and he'll answer with a triple of his own. San Francisco will call a timeout That stops a 6-0 Boise State run. 7-point game. It is Boise State over San Francisco here early as we take our first break of the second half.
Ball's moving a little more frequently.
Certainly woke up a little bit coming out of that break. And we'll see how it carries on throughout this half as Sharov jumps, gets stopped on the baseline, and the ball is stolen away by Tyson Degenhardt. 13th turnover against the Dons. Anderson lost it off the defender.
A lot of contact on the penetration. Roddy Anderson, really a lot of talent. Not sure how that is not a foul, but on one of them.
Anderson was moving and he just ran into the wall that was Williams. Degenhardt has liked the baseline so far today. Gets it out to Martin. And Newberry jumps into him. That's a good job of Martin just lowering the shoulder and forcing the contact.
Yeah, and again, Leonard, he's sneaky athletic. You know, you kind of look at him, big 6'10", big 6'11", slow guy. He's just not that way. He's pretty crafty with the basketball. He'll knock down a three if you don't guard him. And a great passer.
Rice off the screen, another catch and shoot. This time he can't convert.
See, big difference. Feet weren't set, shoulders weren't square. That's a lower probability for Max, but he'll knock a few of those down also.
Sharov jumps. San Francisco's got a lot of people who really want to have the ball in their hand. Newberry explodes to the rim, loses the ball, but he'll still score.
Okay. But San Francisco, again, is just doing a nice job of just hanging around. And, you know, when you're on the road, that's kind of all we want to do sometimes. If you can hang around, it can get a little dicey towards the end.
Abo creates space. And you mentioned it, Brian. They're losing the turnover battle by 5. They're shooting 27% from 3, and they're down by just 5.
Right. With Boise State shooting 60% from the three-point line.
A lot of teams would be getting ran out of the gym with those type of numbers, but goes to show you how strong this Dons team is. That's a great play.
Oh.
Williams and Hawthorne team up for 2 with a free throw coming.
I hope we get a second look. What a great back cut here, and what a great pass by Williams. Chance to cut it to 2.
Dons hanging around in Boise. We got a break. Max Rice leading the way today, not only for Boise State, but all scorers. He's got 12 points, 5 rebounds for Rice, and the 6-year guard does a lot of great things for this Bronco program.
He really does. He's come such a long way from being, you know, that young freshman out of Bishop Kelly High School, but his game has evolved from just a stationary shooter to much, much more. He can hurt you a lot of different ways. He's physical. He can get rebounds. He'll take a charge, and Max Rice will be an important component to this Bronco run this year.
Speaking of runs, it's 7-0 for the Dons in the last 2.5 minutes, trying to make it 8 with a free throw. Here is Hawthorne. He converts. 8-0 run for the visitors. USF coming right back and applying some full court pressure here against Boise State.
Yeah, really a good strategy. Kind of burns the shot clock. You know, it runs about 10 seconds off that clock. That, wow, almost was a turnover by Boise State. Shot clock now at 15. Now they can't run what they wanted to run.
Rice, back cuts, switches hands, Max Rice, but it won't go. Almost the phenomenal for the Boise native.
Again, Max is sneaky athletic. Great take, unfortunate, bad luck. It didn't fall. Nobody fell down on him as he's laying down there on the court. Shot clock will reset to 20.
It goes out to Stanley. One of the things that we talked about with Nick Duncan on Tuesday's broadcast about against Vanguard, we got a foul against Mobo away from the play, but as Max Rice has progressed in his Boise State career, he has become more confident on the ball every single year, and that has really changed how he plays his game and opened up a lot of things for the Boise State offense.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, it's really amazing what he's been able to do. I mean, he's been here a while, right? I mean, he's been here a while, but he's become just a critical component of the success of this program.
Stanley touches the baseline with the big toe. It'll go back to the Dons, and a chance to tie or take the lead as we look back.
Yeah. Well, you know, that baseline doesn't move. It's always in the same place, so it's unacceptable, really.
It becomes that sixth defender right there. Williams to tie. Won't go. Newberry had the tip, but it was to Whiting.
Boy, Boise State very fortunate that USF did not get a bucket out of that.
Degenhart fouled. They'll call this one on the floor. We'll look back at it.
Degenhart just putting his shoulder down. He was going to go try to get a layup there.
Not a great start out of the gates for the second half for the Broncos. Just 2 of 8 from the floor. Whiting needs to find an inbound target. Abo isolation. Doubled. Steps through. Broncos missing some bunnies here.
But again, that was the game plan, is to get it down low and let them go to work. They've had numerous opportunities. 2-point game. This is where a team like USF can be really dangerous because they play with confidence.
Whiting has the board. Abo, baseline drive, finishes.
Boy, good, strong move by Abo. A lot of contact on that as well. Boise State needs to dig in. They need to dig in and make a run here.
That's the first shot they've made out of the last 7. There's another great backdoor. Came to Beasley, and a foul is called. That's going to be on the floor as well. It goes against Jace Whiting.
Good aggressive back cut. 5'9" athlete. Goes up strong and makes that play.
There's Andrew Meadow coming back in for Boise State. He's only played 4 minutes in this game so far. It'll be hard to get minutes when you're stuck behind Tyson Degenhart.
Yeah, but what a good guy to learn from, right? I mean, as a freshman coming in and getting a battle against Degenhart every day, Andrew Meadows is going to have a great career at Boise State.
A lot of hype around the 3-star prospect out of Santa Clarita, California. 4-point game is Stanley. Finds a back cutting Rice. Gets Sharo Johnson in the air to get the 2. Hawthorne pushes off, and a whistle came. I think they're calling this a shooting foul against Max Rice as we look at the replay. Went on Stanley instead, rather. I was going to say, watching the replay, it certainly looked like the foul on Stanley rather than Rice.
Lead back to 6 for Boise State. But again, this San Francisco team, they're just dangerous because they will fire it from anywhere.
This is Thomas, the junior and former Trojan. Now it's the former Flyer. Charo jumps. Banks it in high,
shot.
arcing.
Tough shot.
And for all the struggles on the outside, San Francisco shooting 42% in this game. Very respectable numbers.
Boy, if you're a Boise State fan, you just feel fortunate that they're not shooting well from behind the arc. San Francisco, I mean, this would be a whole different score.
Would indeed. 4 of 16 for the Dons, 5 of 9 for Boise State. Of course, Boise State went through their three-point woes on Tuesday against Vanguard. That was not what the Broncos were worried about. Knew that they would be a good shooting team this year. Boise State coaching staff did want them to clean up the turnovers, which they had 14 of.
Right. 9 so far. The big fella. Oh, ill-advised maybe.
Pretty early into the shot clock there for Omar Stanley, but Boise State wants you to know that they're not afraid. As much as they've tried to push the ball into the paint, they got some big guys that can shoot it as well. Mobo working through the dribble handoff.
Mobo's been really quiet. Not what we expected so far. Oh, bad luck for San Francisco. That shoulda, coulda rolled in.
Thomas just denied by the back of the cylinder. Stanley jumps into the one-handed flush.
And a great assist by R.J. Keene, and that's where you want Stanley to get the basketball.
Big collision down under the hoop leads to a Boise State foul. Free throws coming. Whiting picks up the foul as Keene assists on the Stanley slam. Almost halfway through the second half, Boise State has the lead over San Francisco. The Dons have been hanging around, making it close, but Brian, they just cannot seem to close that gap to get it back to a tied game.
Well, credit to Boise State for just kind of workmanlike effort, hanging in there, 6-point lead, a lot of basketball left. And again, if you're a Boise State fan or coaching staff, what scares you is San Francisco hasn't hit the three-point shot yet, and they are notorious for doing that.
They have not hit the three. 4 of 16 here in this game. Leonard Berry and Brian King with you on the Mountain West Network and KTVB. And for Boise State, I mean, over the past 2 seasons, how many times have they gotten into those grind it out, wear you down type of games? That has been Boise State's identity over the last couple of seasons, and it's resulted in back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances.
Yeah, it really has. And again, because Boise State has so many new people on this squad this year, they're just going to get better and better and better as the season progresses. So yes, there'll be some bumps and bruises along the way. There'll also be some surprises along the way, but this team will get better every week.
Look at Tyson Degenhardt as he fiddles with the mask. Malik Thomas is at the free throw line for the Dons, trying to get it back to 4 points. Dons have not missed a free throw, but they've only taken 4. Make it 5 for 5. Nobody in double digits for San Francisco either, which is a pretty surprising twist for a team that scored 128 points and 84 points.
Yeah, that's right. And again, you know,
Mobo just a beast on the offensive boards there.
Mobo's the guy for San Francisco that's been a little quiet today. Not his fault. Boise State's done a really good job with him. But again, if I'm the Boise State coaching staff, that scares me as well with 10 minutes to go, knowing what he's capable of.
Charo jumps to inbound.
Oh.
Mobo!
Oh, boy, you saw that coming. What a great set coming out of that timeout. Oh.
And that is exactly what Boise State did not want to see happen.
Lead down to 3. Big possession for Boise State. Boy, San Francisco's doing a good job of really just keeping their bodies in the paint.
Mobo, big rejection. Stanley saves it for the Broncos. And you certainly wouldn't want anyone to be confused. Jonathan Mobo is not just a rim run type of guy. He is a guy that the whole offense can flow through if the Dons choose.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He can hurt you in a number of different ways. It's a good time for Boise State to make a chance. This would be, or make a stand. This would be a good time for a run. Oh,
Charo Johns rolls it in.
Again, they're just hanging around. I think if you're the San Francisco coaching staff, you feel pretty good about where you're at right now.
Two teams who are in what are considered to be the best non-Power 5 conferences in the country in terms of basketball, as Degenhart earns himself a foul. You look at the WCC, the top dogs, Gonzaga for many a year, but St. Mary's is a team that took down New Mexico earlier on this week. Boise State will play St. Mary's in Idaho Falls. That's their second WCC matchup they'll have. These are two conferences that are hoping to get 3, maybe 4 teams to a tournament this year.
Yeah, West Coast Conference, of course, you've always got Gonzaga and St. Mary's at the top of that. And, of course, San Francisco picked third. St. Mary's, I believe, picked to win that conference this year. And that will be it's an interesting game in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Boise State, St. Mary's, and St. Mary's probably one of the best coached teams in the country. Randy Bennett has done an amazing job there for a very long time.
Really solid squad. That'll be a great matchup. Everyone commits a lane violation as Degenhart makes the shot.
Everyone committed the violation.
Tyson Degenhart, consistent as ever. He's got 11 points on 4 of 8 shooting. Dribble handoff for Williams.
San Francisco's done a good job of answering. That's
Mobo.
the guy you don't want to have the ball. Oh,
what a shot that is.
Oh.
Jonathan Mobo, the junior from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah, Mobo's just all you want to have to handle. He really, really is a beast down there.
And I think part of the reason why we haven't seen a whole lot of Cam Martin is that Stanley matches up really well. As Anderson makes a jump pass that was scouted out by Duedo Newberry.
You see Martin coming in, going to give Stanley a bit of a blow. And Tyson Batman Degenhart with the new mask.
We're going to have to come up with some sort of nickname. I know you're using the Batman. Kind of has the long nose, kind of like a crow, the crow mask that you used to see way back in the...
I'll let you creative guys come up with something good for him. Oh, good legs. Good shot by Tyson.
I mean, you see just the jab step there. They're so afraid of the drive from Degenhart.
Again, 3-point game. San Francisco just hanging around. Good time for a run here. Roddy Anderson's been very quiet for Boise State today. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a couple plays here coming down the stretch.
Martin back in with Abo, the pick and roll game, and there's a lost art form, the mid-range jump shot.
Mid-range. Why pass? If you're a shooter and you can't make the 15-footer coming off a pick, that's a problem.
Newberry spins in, lost the handle, gets it back. Mobo fouled. No. It's in. 10 points for Mobo on 5 of 6 shooting. He's got 8 rebounds, and he's going to the line.
He's just getting it done in a really quiet way. I mean, it looked like Boise State had the chance to get a stop there, but not when number 10 gets his hand on the basketball.
What a player Jonathan Mobo is. There's the stat line for him. He came to San Francisco from Missouri State after he played there in the 2023 season. He started his college career at Independence Community College in Kansas from West Palm Beach, Florida. Spent 1 year there, dominated, moved to Northeastern Oklahoma A&M.
Wow.
Before finding a spot at Missouri State, and now arriving to help maybe lift the Dons back to the NCAA tournament. Keene spots up. And a foul is called. Abo is getting hassled by Stefan Todorovic.
Good shot by Obo just for stay active. Look, he's going to go get a rebound. He didn't quit, didn't go back on defense. He stayed active and saved a possession for the Broncos.
Biggest thing for Boise State this year in terms of their offseason point of emphasis was offensive rebounds. They want players to be in there crashing the glass, and they cared so much about it. They spent time talking to the head coaches and the assistant coaches at the University of Houston, a program well respected for their ability to battle on the boards. And Boise State took a lot of things away from what they learned from the Cougar coaching staff.
Well, and they've got the bodies to do it, right? I mean, not only do they have Martin and Stanley, but, you know, Abo crashing from the perimeter, and R.J. Keene, and Max Rice gets a few rebounds here and there as well. They've got the bodies to do it.
Off the rim for Abo. 4-point game with just about 8 to go in the second half. Charo jumps. Recycles. Williams.
Boy, that one made you nervous if you're a Boise State fan, because that kid can make buckets.
7 points for him on just 3 of 10 shooting. He's had a really difficult day of it. Stanley, that's going to be a double dribble. Yeah.
Oh.
He was trying to pass it, and he brought it back. So Stanley turns it over. The Dons will take it back when we come back. Jonathan Mobo doing his thing on the offensive end for the Dons. What a battle so far at ExtraMile Arena. Leonard Berry and Brian King here in the second half, 51-47. Boise State over San Francisco, but the Dons are getting hot, and they are going through their big fella in the middle, Jonathan Mobo, with a couple of athletic slams.
Yeah, he's getting it going, and if you're a Boise State fan or coaching staff, you don't want to see him getting it going. And San Francisco, I think Leonard's got to feel pretty good about where they're at right now. Down 4, 7 minutes to go. Boise State has not been able to just take advantage of this and run away with it.
Keeping competitive on the road. That's exactly what the Dons are doing, and it's been maybe a little bit sloppier than you would expect because it's early season, but it has all the makings and feelings of an NCAA tournament game.
It really does. First half a little sloppy, a lot of turnovers. Not so much the second half. It's been a lot crisper.
Two teams with high tournament aspirations in a couple of stacked conferences. As Beasley got hit, it'll be a jump ball, and the arrow favors the Broncos.
Kind of a big possession. 7 minutes to go. Broncos haven't really been able to put any good offensive runs together. Every position critical at this point.
And in interesting note here so far in this second half, the Dons, who came out launching from deep, they are 1 of 3 on three-pointers in this second half. They have almost completely eliminated it from their game.
Well, maybe the philosophy changed real quick. Oh, Abo.
What a finish. Shabuzo Abo through the harm.
Boy, and Boise State's philosophy has stayed consistent the whole way. Get it and take it to the hoop. Abo, that's just a man's play right there.
That is a great play by the senior from San Diego, California. Second season with the Broncos after joining a year ago from Texas Tech. His free throw goes up and down, and Boise State extends their lead back to 7.
Here comes a little pressure by Boise State. Again, 2 reasons. Burn the clock down a little bit, maybe get a turnover.
Charo jumps to inbound. Mongolian gets it in to Mobo. To the basket, Charo jumps. He pulls up. That little jumper's been so good to him today, but it doesn't work this time.
Yeah, he's kind of having to get everything himself, too, right? Nothing's coming out of the flow of the offense. There's not really a lot of plays run to him. He's just putting his head down and getting in there shooting jump shots.
Mike Sharm jumps 9 points, 3 assists in this game so far. We're under 7 to go in a tight contest.
There's Abo, a lot of lane.
Martin thought about that jumper, but Rice makes the great cut. Can't finish it as he blows the layup. And the Dons are going to come away with the basketball.
Got a great back cut, great pass by Martin. Max, unfortunate, not able to finish it. Again, they're just letting him hang around.
Williams.
Shot clock at 6.
No look pass was great, although the Dons kind of fumbled it around, and a kicked ball violation against Boise State is going to reset the shot clock.
Oh boy, I think Coach Rice wanted to travel. We'll get a second look. Yeah, is what it is, Leonard. Is what it is.
They actually called a kicking. It was a foul for the kick. A little leg sweep there from Boise State. So it's 2 free throws for Duedo Newberry. As long as he makes the first. It was the first half of the 1-and-1.
Newberry, a good free throw shooter. 80% last year.
Originally from London, England. Got 3 starts last year for the Dons. Played in 13 games. Misses that second one.
Boise State's had the lead the entire second half. 6-point now. Boy, everything is close to the backboard.
And Martin fouled.
Martin just gonna back him in, a little baby hook. And Martin will get a chance to earn a couple here from the free throw line.
7th-year forward from Yukon, Oklahoma, was an elite player at Southern Missouri State, as the Broncos will keep the basketball off the missed free throw.
Boy, a really big break for Boise State right there. Cam Martin's 7th year. I don't know if I could have handled 7 years, Leonard. I mean, holy smokes, getting yelled at every day for 7 years. Holy.
Well, especially back in that Bobby Dye era.
Oh, buddy. Oh,
you
buddy.
and Tanaka Beard played.
You better have tough skin coming out of that.
Yeah, Roddy Anderson calls a timeout. Broncos don't like the look that they have on the out of bounds play, so they will keep it and call the timeout. Mobo on the bench, 4 fouls for him. He's in danger of fouling out with 5:45 to go. That is a big, big deal for both the Dons and the Broncos.
Yeah, it really is. 5:45 left. They'll try to they'll probably try to burn maybe 2.5 minutes off before they let him finish it.
San Francisco has not led this entire game. It's been wire to wire for Boise State so far. Dons got within 1 point when it was 12-11. But since then, haven't been able to close any closer, haven't been able to even tie it up since it was 0-0.
Yeah, and the gap really hasn't been more than about 8, I don't think. It's kind of 8 back to 4, 8 back to 4. And again, as coaching staff of San Francisco, you don't feel too bad about that. They've really hung in there.
Anderson finds the look. It's Abo. Degenhart in against Wong. Goes in, scores, and he's fouled.
Degenhart, so crafty. I think he released that shot at about the 6-foot mark. I mean, it definitely wasn't. He just kind of scooped it in there.
See the emotion from the junior out of Spokane, Washington. Came to Boise State from Mount Spokane High School. Last year led Boise State with 14.1 points per game. He's got 13 right now with a chance to make it 14 on the shot. It's like riding a bike for Tyson Degenhart.
Boy, it's the trifecta of Degenhart, Abo, and Rice. 14, 13, and 14 points for those 3.
Both Abo and Degenhart shooting 5 of 11 from the floor. Broncos lead it by 9. Backdoor cut, Hawthorne, he's in free, and Rice getting cut on behind.
Boy, that's the 4th time that back cut, great little bounce pass has worked for the Dons. Down to 7.
Abo in to the basket, rejected. That is Newberry.
Boy, that was a great play by Newberry, too. It looked like it was an easy 2 for Abo. There goes Williams.
3 ball not falling for him.
Boy, really unfortunate for San Francisco. They just cannot get the 3 to go down.
Williams 1 of 6. Sharo jumps 0 of 4. It's Dueto Newberry who's shooting the best from deep. He's 2 of 4. In fact, he's got half of their 3-point makes. Degenhart spins, takes it himself. What a finish, Tyson Degenhart.
Degenhart's just going to work. Back to 9 for Boise State.
Crowd likes what they see. Here's Barry Wong. That'll hit the top of the backboard and go over.
Well, 4 minutes to go, and here comes Mobo with 4 fouls back in the game. Here's Degenhart again, just mans his way in there.
He came to Boise State as a pretty prolific low-post scorer, and somehow he has improved every season.
Here's a set play for the Broncos. Let's see where they're going with it.
Rice calling for the on-ball screen. It's the pick and pop. Great job by Charum Jumps to get up, deflected out of bounds. Boise State by 9. We're under 4 to go in the second half. Back at ExtraMile Arena, 59-50. Boise State leading over San Francisco. Tyson Degenhart taking over as he usually does. 50% from the floor, 16 points, 5 rebounds, and doing it all while wearing the Batman mask.
Well, and Tyson seems to make the biggest buckets when the team really needs somebody to make a bucket. I mean, 4-point game a minute and a half ago. Now we have a 9-point game. Boise State finally trying to stretch that lead out a little bit. And they will retain possession here with 3:50 to go.
See Degenhart getting that mask back on, just taking it off whenever he can, trying to get a breather.
Well, yeah, it can't be comfortable, right? I mean,
Sure,
it's got to be no fun.
Rice, that floater doesn't fall. Mobo has his 9th rebound. Here's Marcus Williams.
Time to make the run if you're going to make it, San Fran. Good back cut again by the Dons. Holy smokes.
And Charum Jumps, who gets open. The former Flyer just flying to the rim.
That's just a good read cut, too. See if the Broncos can answer. Lead at 7.
San Francisco needs a run.
Back
There's
cut
a
of his
Bronco
own.
back cut.
How about that?
Shabuzo, Abo with a slam, 15. And Boise State's big 3 going to work. Rice 14, Abo 15, Degenhart 16. All in a row in the basket for Williams. He draws the foul as well. Take a look
Boy,
at the
Williams,
bucket.
tough kid, knows how to score. Again, a lot of these buckets for both teams are all coming around the rim. I mean, you're not seeing a lot of kickouts, a lot of jump shots. This is an interior game today.
Mentioned earlier that said Williams was familiar with the gym as he misses the free throw. He's actually not. I meant to say he's familiar with Boise State. He lost to the Broncos both times when he was at Wyoming. Both of those games were at the Arena Auditorium in Laramie during that COVID season. So for Williams, it's his first time.
So it's good for him to leave Laramie then.
Yeah, it's his first time here at ExtraMile. Degenhart, the carry through. Huge collision that sends Abo flying, and Rice is going to commit what is pretty much a tactical foul as Boise State was going to be down 5 on 4.
Yeah, really good play by Max. Heads up right there. They had a mismatch for sure. San Fran's going to get a bucket. Good way to stop play. 7-point lead by Boise State. Newberry the chance to again cut it down to 5.
Dons need a run here over that last 2:27. They're out shooting Boise State from the floor in this game, 45% compared to 43.
Well, and 4 for 18 from the three-point line, too. And so they've really had a strategic change to take it right at Boise State.
Free throws might be the big difference in this one as it comes down to the wire. Boise State is at 59%, 10 of 17. As Dueto Newberry makes both of his, Dons are at 8 of 12.
Back to 5. It's been the oh boy.
And a turnover, maybe. Charlotte jumps, dives on it. There's a tangle. It's a jump ball. And regardless of what happened, whether USF called the timeout or held the ball, the possession arrow points to them. That is a big-time mistake by Boise State.
They're going to keep it. Roddy just kind of got off his feet there. The passing lanes ran through. There was nowhere to go with it.
5-point game, 2:22 left. Could come down to the wire.
Well, Leonard, if you've watched a lot of basketball like I have, you almost kind of feel they're going to knock a 3 down right here, don't you? I mean, it just kind of has that feeling.
It certainly does, and that's what they're trying to run. The 3, Hawthorne, he doesn't have it.
Well, there's just a lid on that basket for the Dons today here at ExtraMile Arena.
I think you could feel the air get sucked out of every Bronco fan's lungs here in the gym.
Under 2 minutes to go. 5-point lead by the Broncos. That's been about where it's been the entire game.
And so far, it's the defense winning out. Degenhart stops, walks through, and he travels. When I says walks through, meant it literally.
Yeah, really not a place, no place to go for Degenhart on this one. That was maybe a good time to kick it out. Timeout by San Francisco. They're going to draw one up.
Minute 38 in the second half, 61-56. Boise State has committed 9 fouls, so the next foul that they commit would put the Dons into the double bonus, shooting 2 every time. Boise State is already into the double bonus thanks to 10 San Francisco fouls. Like I said, free throws could be what decides this. Neither team doing a great job at the line. 67% for the visitors compared to 59% for the home side.
Yeah, that's right. And I think if you're inside that San Francisco huddle, you've got 2 things you're going to think about. A back cut, right? You're going to set something up for a back cut, which has worked probably too well for them today. Or Williams probably gets a good look, or Newberry for a 3. And you got to think, as much as the philosophy is that they will shoot a lot of threes, they haven't knocked them down today. 4 for 19. Odds are with you that one of these is going to go in.
1 of 5 from deep in the second half so far. Here comes the inbounds.
A lot of capable shooters. Shara jumps is one.
Remember,
Williams is the other.
Mobo has the 4 fouls. That ball is stolen by Max Rice.
Good play, Max Rice. Not exactly what San Francisco had drawn up. They'll come with full court pressure, I would imagine now. Minute 25. A lot of time left. A lot of basketball.
Mobo getting up there. He's looking for his first double-double of the season. He's got 10 points and 9 rebounds. But he's also trying to avoid fouling out with a minute 10 left.
Boise State will burn clock. My guess is they're going to get to the rim somehow.
Boise State bucket here would really hurt the Dons. That's what the Broncos are hunting for with 4
clock
on the
at
shot
5.
clock. Rice to Martin. The 3. Knocked around. Abo loses it off of the padding. He was trying to throw it.
Almost with a great save. Slipped off his fingertips. We'll get a second look. Good look by Martin. Abo almost with a fantastic save. 52 seconds to go. What a great way to start college basketball in Boise, Idaho.
Charo jumps, looking around. Dons want to go quick. Newberry takes an ill-advised baseline shot. It's ripped around. Abo comes down with it.
Boy, get it in your best free throw shooter's hands. Keep the ball, Max Rice.
And Charo jumps, fouls. Boise State, even after a 2-minute and 40-second scoring drought here to close this out, looking like they're going to walk away with their second victory of the year.
Yeah, workmanlike effort. Not fancy, not perfect. Very workmanlike. They gutted it out. Degenhart got it going when they needed. We've still got 25 seconds to go. My guess is Max is going to nail a couple of these. Well, maybe one.
This is the first, 61-56. It's still just a 5-point game, 26 seconds to go.
Yeah, 10 of 19 for Boise State from the free throw line. 11 of 20.
2-possession game, 1 timeout left for San Francisco.
Pressure by Boise State, and the Dons will have to go fast.
Charo jumps, trying to get the free 2, and he's got it.
Boy, he's tough. He's tough. What a nice player.
San Francisco calls the timeout. Charo jumps 13 points to lead all San Francisco scorers. And the timeout called by San Francisco. Now, Brian, you're certainly a lot more knowledgeable in the game of basketball than I am. You've seen a lot, you've played a lot, you've coached a lot. The timeout after the made bucket, when you need 2 more, what is the explanation? What are the coaches going over here?
Set your defense, right? I mean, if Boise State inbounds it real quick and runs it up the court, there goes 8 seconds, and then you have to foul. You set your defense right now, opportunity for a steal. If you don't get it, most likely you're going to foul right away anyway. And you don't want to foul Max Rice, and you don't want to foul Abo, so you're probably not going to let them catch the ball. Hopefully you foul a 50% free throw shooter. Good strategy, I think, by San Francisco, but they've got to keep seconds on the clock here as long as they can.
Yeah, just 20 left. They're down by 4. Talking through how they want to pressure the ball here in the backcourt, try to deny that entry. And if the Dons can get a steal, things are looking juicy.
Well, that's what they're hoping for, right? They're going to deny entry to probably Rice and probably Abo, and they're going to try to force probably Roddy Anderson, who hasn't had a lot of touches today, and Cam Martin, who most likely will take it out. And Degenhart, 65-70% free throw shooter. But you don't want 12 to catch it. You don't want 11 to catch it.
Martin trying to inbound, finds Degenhart. A little too easy for Boise State as he tripped and Mobo fouls out.
Oh boy, I think really fortunate for Boise State, actually. That could have gone anywhere. That was a dangerous place for Tyson to go with that ball, right on the baseline. We'll get a second look. That's what they wanted. They wanted to throw it back to Martin so they could foul him. Degenhart will get an opportunity to add to his 16 points today.
Don's coming back out onto the floor as Degenhart gets ready to shoot 2. 17.8 seconds remaining in this game. Boise State is not going to take a shot from the floor here over the next 17.8 seconds, you would imagine at least. And so that means that they're going to go 3 minutes without a field goal here to close this out.
Oh boy, you could have heard a pin drop in here. Everybody loves Tyson Degenhart here. He gets the ball. Everybody got eerily quiet.
It'll get silent again. And he'll make the second. 5-point game, 17 seconds remaining. Dons have no timeouts.
One stop away, but still a lot of time. A quick 3 here by San Francisco will make it very interesting.
Charo jumps will inbound off the made free throw. They had to reset the clock back to 17.8. Williams. 2 Charo jumps. Here come the Dons.
Let's stay close to Williams.
Great pickup defensively by Martin here. As he chases him into the corner, he steps on the line, and that will more than likely do it as the Broncos will get the ball back with 8 seconds left. What a defensive stop from Cam Martin.
Oh, and real frustrating possession for San Francisco. I think the coaching staff is about to pull their hair out. Great opportunity to get a good look and didn't get a look.
Abo catches, holds on to it. He gets slapped on the back with 5 seconds left. If he can make one of these, it would be a 6-point game with 5 left.
Yeah, good play by Abo, who came and got the ball, got it strong, and did not give it away. I mean, he's an 80% free throw shooter. You want to add those 2 points to your stat book.
And the night is going to be defined for the Dons by their 3-point shooting. That's what we thought it would be defined by, but maybe not in this way.
Yeah, really good point. That's right. And I think Boise State was really worried about that, but they just were not able to make buckets tonight.
Dons go 4 of 19 from 3. Boise State makes more than them, going 5 of 13 so far. And the Broncos won the battle on the glass as Rice will burn off the rest of the clock by catching it in the corner. Boise State put the emphasis on offensive rebounds, and it's an offensive rebound off the missed free throw that wins the game for them.
Yeah, well, again, workmanlike effort for Boise State. Really the first outing for either of these two teams. I think both coaching staffs will learn a lot from it. They'll clean a lot up because, like I said, here we go. We're ready to go.
We'll be back with postgame live from ExtraMile Arena as the Broncos win it. We are back at ExtraMile Arena. Postgame here, 63-58 is the final. Boise State wins over San Francisco. Broncos improved to 2-0, and joining us here at the table is Boise State's junior forward, Tyson Degenhart. Tyson, you had to miss that Vanguard game. I know how badly you wanted to play. You get to come back against a really tough opponent in San Francisco. How did it feel to be out there, leading scorer? Seemed like you didn't miss a beat, man.
It took me a little bit to get my legs under me, at least for those first 8 minutes, but felt great to be out there with the team and help us get a win tonight.
Tyson, it gets real now, right? Big road trip.
Absolutely.
Here it comes. This was more or less first game, warm-up game. What will you take from this game as a team? What are the things we're going to have to work on?
I think we played pretty good defense. San Fran really shoots the ball well. I think we did a great job taking them off the three and making them work for their shots, but we just got to keep improving on that defense and knowing that our shots are going to fall somewhere in the future.
And Tyson, you've seen newcomers from Boise State, whether they be freshmen, whether they be transfers. You guys added up again after some losses due to graduation. But, I mean, how well are these newcomers gelling? It seems like everyone's in tune out there on the court already.
Absolutely. It was the first week everyone was here. You could just kind of tell there's a different vibe about our team and just how connected we were. And it's really helped us, throughout this preseason, now into the season.
Well, you guys certainly look like you're gelling. We wish you the best of luck in Clemson. Excited to see what you guys do there and in the ESPN Invitational Tournament.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a great roll, pal.
Thank you.
Congrats to Tyson Degenhart on the victory as Boise State wins 63-58 over San Francisco. The Broncos do it without making a field goal over the last 3 minutes of the contest. And we talked to another one of the forwards for Boise State. This time it's Omar Stanley. And Omar, you have really come in. You've made your footstep big so far for Boise State. You had to do a lot of work on the defensive end today. Talk to me about trying to guard Mobo down low.
Man, he's definitely a challenge going into it. Oh, my bad. No, he's definitely a challenge going into it. We talked a lot. We watched a lot of film. Coach Burns definitely helped me out a lot. We saw a lot of ourselves in each other. You know what I mean? We were kind of similar players. On top of that, I prayed a lot, and so I always gotta thank God whenever we come out on top. So.
Omar, first of all, welcome to Boise, Idaho. We're fired up to have you here. What do you think about our little city of Boise, Idaho?
Man, it definitely feels like home. This is something there where in New York it was a lot fast-paced, and here in Boise, Idaho it's more slow-paced, which that's the kind of guy I am. So I like it so far.
Great. Welcome here. Fired up to have you. It gets real now. Big road trip, right?
That's what I signed up for. So
there you go.
There you go.
Welcome to Boise.
Thank you.
Speaking of the road trip there, Omar, going back to the East Coast, got Clemson, got the ESPN Invitational. Yeah. What are you going to take away from today's victory that'll help you guys be ready for that one?
We gotta be a lot more physical. Those guys, they're big guys. I feel like we weren't hitting a lot of shots in the first half, and that will fall. Our defense will come as well, which I feel like the going into, our first games, people were talking about our defense, and, that was something that we worked on. I felt like we made strides today, but, we could always do more work, and we will do more work. So I'm looking forward to the next week of work.
Certainly. You've introduced yourself very well to the Boise faithful. We appreciate the time. Congrats on the victory, and we'll see you next week on the road.
Have a blessed Sunday.
Go get him. You too.
Omar Stanley for Boise State as the Broncos win 63-58. And Brian, Boise State, they didn't have everything that they needed tonight, but they had enough to get it done, and that's what matters.
They really did. Again, workmanlike effort. They hung in there. They did what they needed to do to win. Easy things to clean up, right? Free throws, right? They did not shoot free throws very well, and that's unusual for Boise State. 10 extra points right there. These guys will get it figured out in the next 5 or 6 days. This will be a good basketball team.
Broncos on the road at Clemson next Sunday, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. For our crew here at Boise State University and my broadcast partner, Brian King, we thank you for tuning in to this production on the Mountain West Network and KTVB. Broncos will be back at home in December. We'll see you all then.